Before I show you what I found at the end of this video, I need you to stay with me, because what I'm about to show you isn't just about buildings. It isn't just about old maps. It's about you. It's about your bloodline. It's about why, if your family comes from Ireland, you have almost certainly been lied to about who you actually are. I have been sitting on a document for 3 months, a land survey record from 1847. And when I show it to you at the end of this video, I need you to be ready for it, because it will change the way you see your own family name. But first, I need to show you the empire that was erased, because you can't understand what was taken from you until you see what was there. Open any map from before 1800, any map. It doesn't matter if it's French, Spanish, Dutch, or English. You will find, printed across the entire center of the world, a name: Tartaria. Not a small kingdom, not a territory, the largest named landmass on Earth, stretching from what we now call Eastern Europe all the way to the Pacific Ocean, covering what is today Russia, China, Mongolia, and half of Central Asia. The Encyclopedia Britannica 1771 edition calls it, and I quote, the largest country in the world. This is not a fringe claim. This is in the most respected reference work ever printed in the English language. And then, in the span of about 60 years, it vanishes, hid from every map on Earth. No war, no treaty, no dissolution, just gone. Now, here is where your heritage comes in. Because the architecture of ancient Ireland, the round towers, the impossible dry stone walls of the Aran Islands, the perfectly carved high crosses, shares an identical geometric signature with structures found across what was labelled Tartaria on those maps. Scholars have spent centuries explaining this away. They say it's coincidence. They say the Irish were simply talented. But what no one will ask out loud is this: what if Ireland was not a remote outpost on the edge of civilization, but a western province of the largest empire the world has ever seen? Look at these two structures. On the left, Clonmacnoise, County of Fairlie, Ireland. On the right, a tower in Bukhara, modern Uzbekistan, 4,000 miles apart. Same proportions, same taper, same entrance height, precisely calibrated so that only one person can enter at a time with their back exposed. Mainstream archaeology tells us these buildings are unrelated, that early Irish monks independently invented this structural form with no contact with Central Asia. But here's what they don't tell you. In school, the ancient Irish word for tower, tuarad, shares its etymological root with the word Tartar, the tower people, the people of Tartaria. And I'll show you the linguistic evidence at the end of the video, because what that document reveals about your family name will make this architectural comparison feel like a warm-up. Between 1854 and 1929, approximately 250,000 children, officially described as orphans or abandoned youth, were loaded onto trains, in New York City, and shipped westward across the American continent. The official history tells us this was charity, the Children's Aid Society, saving destitute immigrant children from the slums of Manhattan. But look at the photographs. These children are not malnourished. They are not the hollow-eyed victims of poverty that Victorian reformers typically photographed. Many of them are well-dressed. Many of them appear confused, not rescued, and here is the detail that no historian will dwell on. The Orphan Trains ran at full capacity for the 15 years immediately following the supposed mudflood of the 1850s and 1860s. The exact window when millions of people would have been left without parents, without records, without a family name. Now look at where the Irish children went. They were not evenly distributed across America. They were concentrated, specifically in the river valleys of the Midwest, in the towns that were built directly on top of the most architecturally sophisticated pre-existing structures, in the region. They were placed on top of the buried cities. I want you to look at something that genuinely disturbed me when I first found it. The Children's Aid Society kept meticulous records, and in those records, which you can access through their archive, today there is a column that they never discuss in the official history books. The column is labelled Name Upon Arrival, and in case after case after case, the names in that column are not English. They're not even recognisable as any European language. They are anglicised, simplified, and then replaced on the next page with common Irish, German, or Anglo-Saxon surnames: Murphy, O'Brien, Sullivan, McCarthy. These are not the names these children were born with. They are the names they were given by strangers in a new country after the reset. And this brings me to the final piece of evidence, the one I promised you at the beginning of this video. But first I need to show you one more thing, because it explains why, if you have tried to trace your Irish ancestry past 1850, you have hit a wall. Tens of millions of people with Irish ancestry have done DNA testing, and a striking number of them report the same phenomenon on genealogy forums. A total collapse of verifiable records, not in the 1600s, not in the 1500s, but specifically around 1845 to 1860. The official explanation is the Great Famine, mass death, mass migration, chaotic record keeping. And the famine was real. I am not dismissing the suffering of the Irish people, but here is the question that haunts me. Why do the records not just become sparse after 1845? Why do they become structurally different? The records before that date use a completely different naming convention, different administrative codes, different parish formats that don't match any standard European ecclesiastical record system. As if the people writing those records were not working within the same civilization as the people who came after. As if there had been a break. And now I am going to show you the document. This is a land survey record from County Clare, Ireland, dated 1847. It was filed by the British Ordnance Survey, the same agency responsible for mapping and recording all Irish landholdings during the famine period. Now, the survey records themselves are not secret. They are publicly available in the Irish National Archives. But what is not publicly discussed is what this particular survey found beneath the land in the survey notes for a 7-mile radius around the town of Kilrush. The surveyor describes, in clinical bureaucratic language, the presence of what he calls previously inhabited subterranean chambers of considerable architectural sophistication, sealed by accumulated alluvial deposit of recent origin. Sealed by recent mud. This is a British government surveyor in 1847 officially documenting that underground rooms buried under fresh mud in Ireland during the exact window when the global mudflood is theorized to have occurred. He didn't know what he was looking at, but we do. And here it is what this means for your family name. The land in this survey, every plot, every holding, was registered under the names of the families who claimed it after 1847. The families who were there before, the ones who lived in or near those sealed chambers, have no record, no prior claim, no name in any ledger. They were simply not there anymore, and their children, unmoored, unnamed, confused, were the first wave of what we now call the Irish diaspora. They didn't leave Ireland because of a potato blight. They left because everything they knew, every building, every record, every family, had just been buried under the mud. So the next time you look at your 23andMe results, the next time you hit that wall, that blank space in your family tree right around 1845, I want you to understand what you're actually looking at. You're not looking at a gap in the records. You're looking at the edge of the reset. Everything before that line, the architecture, the language, the names, the empire, was deliberately buried. Not by nature, not by time, by design. Now, I want to ask you something. Does your family have Irish roots? Have you ever hit that war in your ancestry research? Drop the county your family came from in the comments below, because I am building a map, a real interactive map of where these dead-end records cluster, and the pattern it's already forming. I don't have the words for it yet. Subscribe. The link to the full 1847 County Clare Land Survey is in the description. I've also linked the Children's Aid Society records, so you can search your own name. I'll see you in the next one.